When I was doing wholesaling, back when I started 25, 26 years ago, we were doing wholesale deals for like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a deal. I remember the first time I made $10,000 on a wholesale deal. I thought I'd conquered the world. So times have changed because there was no such thing as $20,000 to $100,000 wholesale deals, but now I think that's very normal.
Yeah.
So it's a really good way to get into becoming a real estate investor.
Absolutely. It's quicker, we have, like, especially if you're partnering up with people, you just want to be in and out. You don't want to have to deal with the rest of it, but there's pros and cons to all of it. So if anyone is looking to get started, I know you guys show people how to flip, which everyone's start is a little different. I wish I would have learned some of that more at the beginning, because there's some deals I go back on. I'm like, man, if we would have just took that down, I already had the capital. If I just would have, or not my capital, but private money or whatever it is, the network, to go make another $50,000 on that deal. But we have I think a lot of people that don't have the capital or resources getting started want to learn how to wholesale. And, we're making deals anywhere from $20,000 to even $100,000 wholesale deals. So it's very possible to have a large profit if you know how to go find good deals. And it's sometimes maybe a better way for people getting started. So I guess it just depends the position you're in, but we teach people how to door knock, how to go find good deals, and really just like the sales side of it, overcoming objections. It's a whole nother process, just like everything else. So.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Robbie Krager, the Flip Flop Flipper, and today I'm going to sit down with Ben Jensen. He's REI Closers. He's a young entrepreneur, wholesaler, and he's a fellow school community leader. So he's got a great community dealing with wholesaling and teaching people how to, well, I'll let him tell you what he teaches over there on school, and we'll get to hear his background and his kind of origin story. But guys, we're going to have a fun one today. So Ben, appreciate you coming and sitting down with us. Even though we're by Zoom, you're in Texas, I'm in Puerto Rico, and it's nice that we can get to share a few moments together and talk about real estate.
I appreciate you guys having me on. I wish I was in Costa Rica there with you. I know
Puerto
you guys
Rico.
offer that.
We're in Puerto Rico.
Costa Rica? Wow.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
It's pretty common that we get that a lot, though, that people confuse the two. I don't know why, but yeah, but it is beautiful. They're both paradise.
Yeah, I don't think I've never been to either, so would have been fun, but yeah, happy to do it over Zoom too.
Well, maybe one day we'll get to do a live event. That's something that we've got a lot of hospitality projects here on the island, and one of the things that we want to do through YouTube, through the school community, is run live events where we invite people to come and learn about real estate while they're sitting on the beach and staying in one of our properties. So maybe we could do something.
That would be a lot of fun.
So listen, tell us a little bit about your origin story, how you got into real estate investing and becoming a top-notch wholesaler.
Yeah, so it was kind of funny. I got into, I graduated college 2 years ago. So I was at the University of Oklahoma and didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was coming into senior year and was kind of getting a little bit of that, realizing that I didn't want to work 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. No one really taught me any sales, entrepreneurial type stuff. I was just, good at school and making good grades, but read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is I think the classic story for a lot of people, but changed my whole perspective. And I was just like, all right, I'm not going to do this 9 to 5 internship, and found a guy that was investing in real estate just from social media. And he was like, hey, come door knock and do commission-based sales and make a bunch of money. I kind of thought it was a scam at first, but he's like, come make $20,000 in the summer. And, I'm in the 20 years old and junior in college. And once I saw that, I was like, okay, I'll look into this, and ended up getting on a call with him. And he immediately was like, hey, you should come out and sell. And I had some mutual friends. It was kind of small world that ended up doing it years prior. So I realized it was legit and turned down the other internship that I already had, went out to go sell in Colorado Springs to sell security systems, and ended up making like 6 figures in the summer and finishing one of the top reps at that company as like a rookie, I guess they called it. But I did it just to try and buy my first property. So came back senior year and bought an Airbnb at the college campus I was going to.
Yeah.
And I still have it as an Airbnb. It kills it. There's a lot of football. It's a big program there at the University of Oklahoma. So
yeah,
that was my first taste of real estate. And I also realized that if I can make that much money in a summer doing sales, I'm just going to keep doing it. So I recruited some people and built a sales team, and we ended up moving over to sell residential solar here in Dallas, where I'm from. And I did that the year I graduated, made a lot of money doing that. And I was like, all right, I didn't enjoy it a ton. I wanted to move into real estate. I always knew about wholesaling and flipping. I just needed to figure out, how am I going to build my portfolio? How am I going to do this without, getting loans from the bank all the time? I'm 1099. I write off all my income. So that's when I found like subject to seller finance, and I started knocking pre-foreclosure houses, and that's how I got my first like 5 wholesale deals. And then just spiraled it with my brother. I got my brother into it like kind of as I was figuring it out, and he's 2 years older than me and was doing a 9 to 5 job. So once we got in together and we went full time, it was like it's kind of spiraled since then.
So you guys, first I want to back up before we go back into the real estate stuff. You're from Dallas. How do
Yep.
you get to OU instead of become a Longhorn? What happened there? Parents didn't
Way
love you or something?
No, it's I'll say horns down. No one here likes Texas. I say that there's obviously Texas and OU. It's pretty divided, but
Yeah.
um, we're
I
actually
tease because my grandfather graduated as a Longhorn, so
okay.
he taught me my whole life. We always rooted for Texas. I was never had anything to do with that, with anywhere in Texas, but always rooted for the Longhorns because he loved them. So,
Yeah,
which
both my
meant that we
parents.
didn't root for Oklahoma.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you can't really root for both. It's a fun rivalry, and it's crazy in Dallas when that rivalry happens every year. I mean, we're right here, so that's where the game is. But it's very close to OU. There's a ton of Dallas kids that go to Oklahoma because it's a 2 hour drive, straight
Oh,
shot.
cool.
Yeah, it's a straight shot down 35. Um, Texas is very like, it's a whole different uh I guess culture. It's farther away, it's harder to get into. I
Oh
was just
yeah,
Yeah, so it's a lot different, but I
yeah.
never really wanted to go to OU. I had my brother that was already there, and it definitely swayed me a little bit.
And so I like part of the story where both you and your brother are doing something different than you probably went to school for. And you definitely have stepped outside of kind of the normal 9 to 5, the people would call it the rat race or the matrix. And you've taken kind of your destiny into your own hands, which I love that. I love those kind of stories.
He was doing it a little bit. Have never actually had a real job, I guess. I got into door-to-door sales in college, which was lucky that I guess I took that risk. But yeah, once I did that, I was like, all right, I can't go work in an office.
It's amazing how powerful having the skill set of being able to sell. It's just an amazing skill.
Absolutely. I think that's where it all starts for sure.
And so we talked briefly before, but I think your school community, you're kind of geared towards teaching people who are already out there doing door-to-door sales or already have that sales bone inside of them, how to get into real estate, how to become property wholesalers, and hopefully eventually just real estate moguls,
Yeah.
full on investors and entrepreneurs and developers and, creating jobs and building great things. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so school was something we kind of jumped on. Um, we had like, I don't know, some mentors and different people that we've run into in our own network. A lot of it came from door to door, but our wholesale group on school, we luckily coined or got the name wholesale real estate, which is, school is relatively new. So we figured we'd go broad, and, a lot of people will be looking up that topic. That's our main business. So most of our audience is just people wanting to learn how to do that. They're real estate investors. And then I have a mix of, guys that follow me that are all from door to door. So I think we're kind of niching part of our other offer for direct, like working with us more into the door to door space. But yeah, a lot of people that are following it are, just people wanting to learn how to invest in real estate or wholesale.
And so how do you find them? I'm hearing that your community is you call them door to door, but is there
Mhm.
was there a place that you're networking with them in order to tell people about the school platform? Because you're not really out there too much on social media yet, right? Like you're sort of brand new to the YouTube thing and Instagram
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff, or do I
Yeah,
have that wrong?
Instagram. No, that's pretty accurate. We don't have a huge following, trying to build it up more. We're definitely way too busy in our own business. We're delegating a lot of it now as we build it out. But yeah, Instagram's probably like my largest platform, and I only have like 2,000 followers. So it's mainly through mentorships I already have been in actually. So I'm in two pretty big like communities for real estate investing that I post a lot of like wins. We get a lot of JV leads from there. So I always talk about the deals we're doing, and people just that are new keep funneling us more leads. They need help closing a deal. They need help finding a buyer. They need help knocking doors. They need help cold calling. And it's like, it just generated us so many leads that I post about it in these groups that have a lot of people, and then they all come into our school. So that's how we have gotten a ton of traction.
We aren't super big on social media. Like I'm
Yeah.
no Jerry Norton or Pace Morby, but we've got a little bit of following. And so I would encourage anybody who sees our video to find you and check you out and, you know, become a follower on Instagram. And if you want to share your Instagram link or tell us how to find you on, I guess, YouTube or Instagram, and hopefully we can push some people your way.
Yeah. It's just my first name, last name, benjensen.rei is my Instagram, but REI Closers is all of our brand that we're pushing for, you know, YouTube, and school is just wholesale real estate for the free group. And then we'll have REI Closers for like a more niche group.
That's awesome. Yeah. So guys, I really, if you're following the Flip Flop Flipper, and you should be, and you've already subscribed to us, you know, go check out his content as well. And the same thing with school. So we've got a small community on the school platform, and we'll put this video out there, and we'll hopefully get some people who will be intrigued about what you're doing. That'll your site, your way. I don't know what you call them on school, but your group, and
Yeah.
follow what you're doing. And, you know, that's what else can we talk about? How did you find your first deal? So you go to a summer internship, you're going to learn to be a salesman. You absolutely crushed it, right? You did tremendously well. And then you bought your first piece of real estate, and that's the Airbnb that you've got near the school.
Correct. Yeah. That one was just like the one-off deal, you know, completely different than what we're doing now, because I just went conventional. I didn't know anything about, you know, all the details that we're learning or doing right now for the off-market real estate. It was you know, the prime time when the interest rates were low. So I had to co-sign with a family member and did the whole, you know, primary residence, lived there for a little bit until we moved to Dallas, and then I ended up Airbnb-ing it. But yeah, that's how I bought the first property. It was just a conventional loan, and it was luckily when the interest rates were low, and then they all went up. So that's how I started figuring out the creative finance side of things.
So are you a part of like Pace's sub 2 group or any of those?
Yep, I'm in
Bigger.
Pace's community. I'm in another big one, like, or it's not even a big group, but just Texas people that are like an investment group. And we get a lot of, you know, community members and people in there that bring us leads, and we help close their deals and everything. So similar to Pace's, but it's just to Texas.
Yeah. I mean, the reason that I bring it up, and I know a lot of people in Pace's group, a lot of people that are Jerry Norton's followers, and we say all the time, networking is one of the most powerful things you can do. One of the things that someone who's just starting out, that really doesn't have an idea of what to do, but just knows that they want to do something, is to find people that are doing what they want to do and start networking with them. And your story is exactly that, right? Like, so that's how you got started, really in a pretty successful business.
Yeah. Yeah. I think having the resources more helpful than just there's knowledge everywhere. It's just like who can I have at my fingertips for anything that I need?
Yeah. And a lot of people don't even know to do that, right? Like they're just they're stuck in the 9 to 5. They're stuck in the world that we all kind of grow up in. You go to college, get a job, pay taxes until you die type deal. I think that sucks. And
Yep.
our kind of idea is to step outside of those broken systems.
That's hilarious. I mean, I loved college, but yeah, if I would have found what I did, you know, in sales or real estate earlier, I couldn't have justified staying in, but it just depends, you know, where people are at, what they're trying to do, I guess.
What made you start the school community? How did you even know about school?
School was it was pretty cool. We actually ran into I was in Tulum, Mexico. If you want the full story, but I'll make it shorter, is we were down there from just like a networking, a guy that I know that does a lot of Airbnbs, really kind of nationwide. He does a lot of arbitrage stuff,
Uh-huh.
but he's like, yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff in Tulum. You guys should come out. We'd kind of been I got him his first sub 2 deal, and then we were kind of cross collaborating networks as well. But went down there with my buddy that we wholesale with as well, just a young kid that was been killing it. And we didn't really know what to expect, but ended up running into some other people that do a lot of marketing. They were from the door-to-door space for solar. And he's like, dude, you're killing it. You're young. Like you're in all these mentorships or communities. Like you need to make your own community. Like everything's about personal brand. So I mean, I knew I was starting to post more on social media. He's like, you got to build your own. He's like, everything right now is pushing towards school because Hormozy is backing it. And I was like, what's that? He's like, just look it up. Like, you guys need to get that started on school. And I was like, all right. So we kind of like teamed up with his network a lot and got a little bit of that idea from him. We had a Facebook group before that, but we're like, let's just move this all to school because it's separate from everything else. I like how they gamify it. It's very like tracked. So we just switched it all into school and then ran it from there.
Are you trying to win the school game next month, or are you participating in that, or do you have any dreams on that?
We learned a lot from one of my buddies. He got top 10 in the month of May. He does a lot of the Gator lending stuff, and like we copied some of the stuff he was doing for the success he was having, just to get more traction in our group and everything. But I was gonna try and do that. We realized we're so busy, and we're kind of targeting more a niche group and working more with less people that want to have more direct help. So not so much focused on winning school games anymore.
Yeah, it is a fun thing to think about. We have multiple businesses that we run as well, and so it does make it a little bit difficult to concentrate on winning that game. But I do
Yeah.
love Hermosi. I like watching his stuff, and I'm just enamored with this idea that I worked for 3 years doing the YouTube building up to 10,000 followers on YouTube, and we really never asked anybody for anything. We gave away as much as we could. Like I tell people in real time what kind of investments I'm doing, why I do them, how I do them, and I still, and so the school platform just allows me to do that, only kind of on steroids. And so now that we found it, we'll probably just continue to grow that community somewhat organically. But if you had any tips, or if you have any marketing ideas that have worked well for you, I'm not afraid to follow your lead. If you got something that's worked really well, let me know.
I
Um,
I'm sure we could both learn a lot from it. We're trying to grow our YouTube for sure. And I think, the school, luckily we're in a couple large communities and, we just talk about all the stuff we're doing. So that's the biggest thing. But having the name Wholesale Real Estate, we definitely got a little lucky with. We get people that just look up wholesale real estate. So um, that helps. But keeping
yeah,
people
that's definitely a good name. We got Apex Real Estate, and there's Apex Everything, so probably not the best name choice for us, but we'll be all right. We'll figure out
yeah.
another way. We have the Flip Flop Flipper as one, so we have a free one and then a paid one.
If anyone is looking to get started, I know you guys show people how to flip, which everyone's start is a little different. I wish I would have learned some of that more at the beginning because there's some deals I go back on and I'm like, man, if we would have just took that down, I already had the capital. If I just would have, or not my capital, but private money or whatever it is, the network, to go make another $50,000 on that deal. But we have I think a lot of people that don't have the capital or resources getting started want to learn how to wholesale, and we're making deals anywhere from 20 to even $100,000 wholesale deals. So it's very possible to have a large profit if you know how to go find good deals. And it's sometimes maybe a better way for people getting started. So I guess it just depends the position you're in, but we teach people how to door knock, how to go find good deals, and really just like the sales side of it, overcoming objections. It's a whole nother process, just like everything else. So that's the wholesale side. But anyone else looking to buy properties, we've added I think like 15 doors to our portfolio in the last 12 months. And that's all
Nice.
without not having to go get loans anymore. So that's all subject to seller finance. Haven't had to qualify for any of it. So um, that's how we were able to make deals even make sense in Texas with the, high insurance and taxes.
That's awesome. I will tell you, you said earlier you're doing some stuff in Florida, and so put me on your buyers list. We're buying all over the state of Florida. I'm very attracted to the sub two kind of way to
Yeah.
buy for the same reasons you just did. I mean, for years we were cash buyers. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now for me to buy properties for cash to try and keep as rental properties. So the stuff that does make sense is taking over someone's 3.5% loan that they got 3 or 4 years ago and just sticking a renter in there, even if it's a low margin deal,
Yeah.
and then using my cash to do other stuff. Like we do a lot of value add real estate investing on the island of Puerto Rico, where we can buy a very distressed building, bring it up to its highest and best use, and we're still able to buy at 2010, 2011 prices here. So that's why
Wow.
we're on the island of Puerto Rico. So I like that. And I agree with you. Starting out in real estate, wholesale is a really great way to go. When I was doing wholesaling back when I started 25, 26 years ago, we were doing wholesale deals for like two, three, $4,000 a deal. I remember the first time I made $10,000 on a wholesale deal. I thought I'd conquered the world. So times have changed because there was no such thing as $20,000 to $100,000 wholesale deals, but now I think that's very normal. So
Yeah.
it's a really good way to get into becoming a real estate investor.
Absolutely. It's quicker, we have like, especially if you're partnering up with people, you just want to be in and out and don't want to have to deal with the rest of it, but there's pros and cons to all of it. So, yeah, we'll definitely add you to our buyers list though when we start running into more stuff in Florida. But yeah, the subject to seller finance is nuts. I've got two rentals at a 0% interest rate, seller finance. We're buying two houses in the next month with less than $10,000. And they're
Awesome.
2 and 3% interest rate, I believe.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm about to close on my second sub two deal of the year. So it'll be in Daytona Beach, Florida. And I think my total cash out of pocket's going to be like less than 30 grand.
Mhm.
I'll have a 3.5% loan that's 5 years old and a $900 payment, rent the house out for close to 2 grand a month. That's a pretty good scenario for me to put 30 grand out to get
A
basically
thousand.
$1,000 a month positive cash flow. Not bad at all.
Yeah, it's a killer cash on cash return right there.
That's not bad at all. So I'm up for doing more of that stuff. And I don't advertise for it, right? Like, so I'm not like you where you're marketing for this stuff. And that's why I would pay a wholesaler. Like I'm happy to pay a wholesaler because you guys do a ton of work to find these deals. And I'm doing a ton of work doing other stuff, but marketing to find the next deal isn't isn't or hasn't been my forte. So uh
Right.
I think this has been awesome, man. And I'd love to continue to have conversations with you. And I'm going to root for you and go on to your school platform. I'd love for you to come on to ours. Feel free to comment and we'll just share knowledge. And if we can do a deal together, I tell you this, I don't know if you've watched any of our content, but I tell everybody that I meet pretty much that we expand our business through partnerships. So I like to do deals with people. And if you've got a great deal, like even if you had a wholesale deal that you were thinking, maybe this is one we should keep as a flip, or maybe we should keep this as a rental, and you needed a money partner, or you needed someone who knows the game and you wanted to have a partner, let me know. That is really what we're focusing on a lot right now, is to try and continue to expand through partnerships. But I really like investing in young people who are entrepreneurial, that have a track record of success, and that's worked out really well for me, and I think it works out really well for others as well. So
Awesome. Are you guys only looking to buy in Florida?
yeah, I'm buying in Florida and Puerto Rico right now. I'd say the further that I get away from my house, wherever I am living, if that's Orlando, Florida, or Puerto Rico, the further you get away from where you live, the better the deal has to be. So I'm
Yeah.
willing to go other places, but it has to really be a pretty sexy deal for me to want to go to Texas or Louisiana or something at this point.
Yeah.
But not, I would never say never. I know about myself. I like to do stuff that I can get to and touch
Right.
and feel, and that's just what we've done for a long time. So, but if
I
you're
completely
marketing for Florida, I'm your guy.
sounds good. I love it. I don't think so. I appreciate you guys having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was great. It was a good conversation. I look forward to watching you grow, man. And give everybody one more time who you are, how they connect with you.
Yep.
And
So it's Ben Jensen. So just all ENs, BenJensen, .rei is my Instagram. And I'm also we're doing our YouTube channel. It's REI Closers. So real estate investing closers. We have a podcast as well, trying to get more consistent on that, but we're ramping that stuff up right now. And the school group is Wholesale Real Estate. And then if you want to reach out to kind of work directly with us on school, it's REI Closers as well.
I'll tell you what, send us all of those links and we'll put them in the description of the video. And you guys definitely, if you want to check out some new content on YouTube, go check him out. Go check him out on Instagram. Let's get him a whole bunch of followers and let's learn together, guys. Thanks for watching that video. Give this video a like. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, definitely do that. And also join our school group over there. So we've got links for everything in the description. God bless, guys.